What three things you gonna do if you are elected?
Well, Highway 33. They're talking about building a little roof over it with some plants and trees and 9 blocks long for $1 billion. I'm a developer. I know what money can buy in this industry. If you gave that $1 billion and kept it in this community, we can fix Jefferson Avenue. We can close 33 and bring back the original Homestead Park. We can fix Fillmore Avenue and many other things.
Welcome to our special program of Buffalo Times, Our Voice. Especially Our Voice is a program where we speak, we listen to the community activities. Our viewers, this is the time for the election, and Buffalo Times is planning to raise the voices or listen the voices of the candidates who are planning to running the public offices. Today we came here to one of our very nice candidates, promising candidates here in Ellicott district of Western New York, Mr. Emin Egriu. Thank you, Mr. Egriu, for giving us time with Buffalo Times so that we can hear your voice and we can focus your voice to our viewers.
Well, thank you for having me here today.
This is a very noble cause that you are trying to serve the community.
It is a lot of hard work on top of it, but thank you for really coming here and giving me the opportunity to speak to the community.
Thank you very much. First of all, we're gonna ask you very initial questions about your identity. I mean, where did you come from? Where did you born? How did you get educated? And how come you ended up here in Western New York to serve the community?
Well, I left a city called Debra. It's in Macedonia. It's a majority ethnicity is Albanian community over there. We left in '69. Lived a little bit in Italy for about 8 months, and then we have all the proper paperwork, and we came to the United States in 1970. And I remember this date because I had to repeat it a few times. It's September 20th of 1970. We came to Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
I went to school over there. I was educated in Brooklyn, and I started my little business that I have now, which is treated me well. I guess it takes a lot of hard work to grow yourself, but as a young boy, I was very handy. My father was a building superintendent, and I used to fix everybody's little problems, and I ended up in my teens opening up a small company, and I was getting jobs even back then. And then I started opening up pizzerias with a few other people throughout the country. I started New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio. We went to Utica. And then we ended up here in the Main Place Mall. Many of you that are familiar with the Main Place Mall in the past, we opened up 2 pizzerias there called Gino's and Joe's Pizza. They still exist. The only difference is that they opened up other localities. Some are Gino's, some are Joe's, but it's the same style of food and all that. I moved back to New York for a few months, and my wife and I decided we wanted to raise our kids here. And this was back in 1983 when I came here. And we went a little bit, we came back, and we didn't want to send our kids into the city to school. I found this town, I thought at least it was growing at the time because they opened up a train station. I thought there was opportunities, but even though it didn't grow, the opportunities were still there. Anybody that wanted to work for it was able to, I guess, fulfill what they work for, their dreams. I've built churches, I've built mosques, I've refurbished old schools that were abandoned for many years. I've been fortunate enough to have a good reputation where I have a lot of clientele. But at the same time, through all these years of doing these, I did these in the community I live in. I built Zion Missionary Baptist Church right here on Purdy and Ferry, 179. I built Mount Aaron on Genesee. I think it was 560 Genesee. It's near Jefferson. I worked on a few other historical churches. I did Greater Refuge Temple on Jefferson, going towards High Street. We did a plaza over there. I've always been working with the community.
So you have been working almost nearly 2 decades with all these community activities here.
Well, quite a few decades, yes. But the best part about it is whenever I did something that was at a bigger scale, I always did it with the locals. I hired people from the community that came up to our job sites. Please, I need a job. So we gave a lot of people opportunities not only to share and rebuild the district with its own residents, but we also were able to take those many individuals, men and women, and send them to fields.
For your job and other activities, you moved around in different places, but since you are running in specific district, so you're going to focus on the community of this district, right?
I got to focus on this district for sure, but I'm also going to focus on the rest of the districts because I feel like especially the east side is something that every district wants to see improve. Especially, we all want good neighbors. And I live in a district that's diverse. We have the poor, we have middle class, and we have some upper class. But my message from the community and people I speak to, and the message I've always been trying to do is, they call me Eastside Eddie as a nickname.
Okay.
And they were doing that to me last year. But we all want good neighbors, so I'm going to do everything I can for my district for sure. I want to get rid of 33. They want to put a roof over it. I want to close it. I want to bring back the park. I'm really going to concentrate on Jefferson Avenue. If you look back in history, Jefferson Avenue was the strip for the African American community and those that lived around it. Now all they have is a Top Supermarket and a few other localities that some locals have been working hard to keep it alive. But I really want to see Jefferson Avenue thrive. I want to see Jefferson Avenue compete with Elmwood Avenue, compete with Hurdle Avenue, and compete with some of the strips that people have invested on. So my goal is to rebuild the strips that have been forgotten.
Okay, that's a good aim, I guess. Our next question is, can you mention few occasions that you had a good engagement with the community and they welcomed you?
Oh, I don't know where to start on that one. MVP, most valuable people. Neil Dobbins was a good friend of mine, and back when he first started it, he came to me, asked me about it, and it turned out to be one of the most successful East Side groups today. And he passed away during the COVID. May he rest in peace. He was a very, very true friend of mine. But not only MVP. The communities, like the churches that I built, I didn't build them as a contractor. I was asked to help. Zion Missionary Baptist Church had broke ground 2 years. They couldn't find a contractor because they didn't have the resources. The Reverend Robert E. Baines and the former councilman David Collins came to me because the people were starting to ask for their money back. Please, we need to build this church. It's a pretty big church on top of it, but we only have so many things. When I finished that church in 5 months with a small budget, the glory that I felt from that community, because they filled the place up with like 500-600 people. And even the bishop and the reverend, they said if it wasn't for Emin Eddie, we wouldn't be here to pray today. And it's not only that community. I also helped create the first halal market in Lackawanna.
That's great.
I built Mount Aaron. We also just recently built a mosque in Niagara Falls, where I worked. I did the general construction for them, the foundation, the walls, and all that. I overseen the project over the years so that they could finish it up and make sure it's done to code. But then Push Buffalo. 2006, 2007, nobody knew who Push Buffalo was. And today, it's the biggest organization in Buffalo.
Very good.
We're talking $9 million, $10 million organization. Of course, staff has changed, people have changed, but the ideology of creating things is still there. And we took something from $30,000 on our first building, we brought up 60, we remodeled 3 units completely, and today they are some of the most biggest developers for low-income housing on the west side.
Very good. So you have been associated with development programs, community services, and so many community activities too. So do you think that you have challenging 3 other people, right?
Yes,
So,
I am challenging
and
3 other people.
yes. So you
But,
think the voters gonna be choosing you, not to them?
Well, I'm going to say this. I hope they do choose me. You know, I can't go into their personal thoughts and who they're supporting because some of them might have friends on the other side or the other opponents. But I think my message is the strongest. I think my experience over the years fighting for the communities and bringing things that I have advocated for over the years have come to fruit. Whether it's low-income housing, whether it's quality of life, because I've taken neighborhoods where nobody wanted to invest and I convinced people to invest. Taking kids off the streets and taking them off the courts, better to send them to work than to prison. I can go on. And if people were to take the time to do some research, Google my name, Egriu, E-G-R-I-U. Just Google it. You will see that for many, many years, I've been advocating. Last year, I ran for Congress. I don't want to stretch it too far, but I also advocate for national and international stuff. Why am I also doing the council seat? Because I think we're being redirected. We need to redirect our city. Time has changed. Different communities have come in. The diversity is growing. And I'm a person of unifying the community.
Thank
I'm
you,
a
Mr.
person that will
Egriu,
listen to all.
for we hope that it's gonna be happening. This is the last question, but not the least.
Okay.
What 3 things you gonna do if you are elected?
Well, Highway 33. They're talking about building a little roof over it with some plants and trees and 9 blocks long for $1 billion. I'm a developer. I know what money can buy in this industry. If you gave that $1 billion and kept it in this community, we can fix Jefferson Avenue. We can close 33 and bring back the original Homestead Park. We can fix Fillmore Avenue and many other things. That's one of the main priorities. Jefferson to me is for years I created a lot of different individual businesses there. And they used to call me Eddie Jefferson back in the days. And that nickname was the former mayor, Mazziello, and a few commissioners. They used to call me Eddie Jefferson. But quality of life matters. If we don't change the quality of life, not only in my district and the rest of the district, which I will support anything that'll change the quality of life in all districts, because we're trying to fix one place and abandon another. No, we should work together. There's a lot of resources that are coming in, $360 million that is coming in, supposedly for communities like this. But are they being directed in the right direction? We have to look into that. I feel that the money could be better spent, and I want to be that body in council to make sure that that money is spent where it belongs.
Thank you very much for giving us time with Buffalo Times, and we congratulate and we hope your wishes come true. Thank you very much, Mr. Eddie Egriu, for your nice voice to us. We hope it's gonna be materialized.
I have to say one more thing before we all leave. You also have a young man running in your community in the Lovejoy district. It's the first Bangladeshi
Yes,
that's on the
Mr.
ballot.
Uddin.
Yes, Mohammed Uddin. I recommend that if anything, you tell your community that it's very important they get involved. It's very important they try to help him, whether it's volunteering or helping him pay for some of the advertising that he's got to do. You have an opportunity to get yourself your own candidate. He's on the ballot, first time, and the district is split. We know the incumbent, some of you know him, but people want change. And the only way change comes if we put new people into the game. So I hope you take the
Thank
time
you.
to
We have
support
already
Mohammed.
heard Mr. Uddin, and we will again heard of him. And dear listeners and viewers of Buffalo Times, thank you for being with us. Here is Mr. Egriu. You heard your voices, his wishes, his plans and programs for the district Ellicott. So if his voices reiterates your voices, please go for him. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful time.